I needed a job. And, you know, I've been approached to do a talk show for quite a while. And I think I realized, even though I was very privileged and honored to do the evening news on CBS, that I think the milieu that I feel most comfortable in is one that allows me to interact and to explore issues in a I think, a more spontaneous, free-form way, if you will. Creatively, this is a tremendous challenge for me because it's like taking a blank canvas and being able to build something that you hope will be unique and impactful. And it just seemed like it was good timing. Obviously, there's, you know, everyone has talked about the fact that there is a hole in the marketplace since Oprah's departure, and I think we should just be honest about that. That's very true. The notion of competing with her would be pretty daunting for me. And so I just thought the time seemed right. I'm a person who really gets excited about change and new challenges, so this seemed to be an appropriate next step for me professionally. I don't know if I had a checklist so much. I think there's a checklist for any new show like this. You have to think of things like a theme song and a set. And these are things that I never really dealt with. Nobody really cared what I thought necessarily about the set or a theme song, although I was pretty vocal, you know, at different times in my career. But, you know, obviously we had to staff up the show and get a great cross-section of people from different backgrounds. Diversity was really important to us as well, because we wanted a lot of different perspectives. And in terms of what people can expect from the show, we're still kind of figuring that out in some ways, but we want it to be topical. Obviously, we want it to be interesting and engaging. We want to tackle issues that require a deeper understanding, whether it's about health or scientific discoveries, about medicine. I just mentioned those at the top, kind of under the umbrella of health and wellness. Might be understanding personal finances better, how you can make money from home. It might be about news stories that have captivated the attention of the public. So we might obviously have a newsmaker on. And from those kinds of stories, we'll have celebrities on to talk about things. Hopefully we won't be the 8th stop on a junket to talk about a film. But I think that oftentimes public figures and even Hollywood stars appreciate the opportunity to talk about things that matter to them. And I think sometimes they don't have time in shows that currently exist to really talk about much, because often the interviews are maybe 3 or 4 minutes long, and by the time you throw in a few clips, there isn't a lot to talk about. So, you know, and a lot of people have issues that are causes that are very near and dear to their hearts. So I think it's going to be a whole potpourri, if you will, of subjects and issues and people. You know, we'll be looking at women who probably you've never heard of, and some men who should be well-known, who should be famous, who are doing pretty extraordinary things. So I think it's going to be a real variety. And I think we're still honestly figuring it out, and what, you know, how we'll put the show together and what different things we'll tackle on any given week. I guess there will be sort of a Darwinian process that will play out in the next few years in terms of if there's room for the marketplace. I think that's what we'll learn during this whole endeavor. But you know, I don't really necessarily feel comfortable with like what perspective did you want to bring. I have endless curiosity about a lot of different things. I think I've had years of conducting some pretty memorable interviews, and I think that my strong suit is making people feel comfortable and being able to share their stories and helping them share their stories, and being able to focus and synthesize, I think, complicated topics. I've become pretty good at that, partially because I've had to, for example, understand cancer. When my husband got sick, I had to really kind of digest a lot of complicated concepts to sort of figure out treatment options and things like that. And I've always thought about the viewer when I did the Today Show or the evening news. How can we make really confusing and complicated topics more digestible and understandable and user-friendly. So I think I'm just going to try to be myself and share that curiosity and that hunger for information, accurate information, and helpful information with the people who are watching. And a hush fell over the crowd. Big gets. Well, you know, there are a lot of big gets, obviously. Amanda Knox would be a huge get, but that's very, very competitive. And Kate Middleton would be pretty nice to have on our show. So I think there are a lot of big gets, and I think certainly I'll be as aggressive as everyone else in getting some of these fascinating people or accomplished people or you know, maybe notorious people to come on and tell their stories. But it will be a lot of other things as well. And you know, there are so many people I'd be interested in talking to. Oftentimes newsmakers we've never heard of end up being the biggest gets. I think you can take even a pretty dense, serious subject and make it really engaging and informative if it's well produced and if it's thought of creatively. I mean, that is my hope. You know, I don't think you know, I'm necessarily going to have you know, Snooki on. I just gave her like a Jewish name. I called her Snooki. But you know, I like her. She's cute and everything, and you know, I think it's funny that people find her interesting. That's great, but that's really probably not going to be first and foremost on our show. Having said that, it's not going to be Masterpiece Theater either. So I think you know, having that right balance of somebody who's really interesting and smart and engaging, but also, you know, I think I'm not a snob about popular culture either. You know, if for some reason something huge happens or something on Jersey Shore, something huge happens with Kim Kardashian, I mean, it's going to have to be pretty huge. I'm not above kind of talking about things people are interested in. And I think that all different topics can be done well. It's really about how you do it and how you carry it out.